Hello YouTube, this is The Passion, also known as Mikkel, and welcome to another No More Side Jobs segment. And today we're going to talk about Travis' touchdown, especially his rendition in No More Heroes 1. And it's how he's relatable, his likability as a video game character, and sort of his attitude and outlook on the world around him and also how he sees himself. Because he does see himself in a positive light. He doesn't like spit out 1,000,001 self-deprecating jokes. And oh yeah, by the way, that's my least favorite kind of humor. When I literally know a person for that, it's kind of painful and cringeworthy. Um, but with how Travis and his lifestyle is, like we gotta keep in mind at the very start of the game. Actually, just before you even put the disc in, you can just read the instruction manual, and you get a couple cute little manga panels of how it came to be, how your No More Heroes journey, the little prologue, prelude, how it all really starts. And Travis just buys Bloodberry off eBay, and it's shocking that someone decided, whoever sent this to him, I'll have to do a bit browsing around. I don't think we actually know who sold it to him. Decide to just sell such a lethal weapon online, and it's the fact that Travis was gunning for this sort of fantasy to be some sort of badass, a hero essentially. That's what he wanted to be. He voices it a lot more in No More Heroes 2, well, very distinctly in a cutscene later in the game, but he reminds me a bit of Bottom from, I think it's from A Midsummer Night's Dream, and he's trying to ascend and try and be more than what he is, but he makes an ass out of himself and just falls back down to the start again. And that might happen to Travis in No More Heroes 3. Well, I'm not too sure, but at this point in No More Heroes 1, we see this quite an exciting rise at first, and you get a sneak peek at the other side when you compare Travis to the different assassins he fights. We get some that are more dazzling, some that are more some that show you almost the glamour of being a badass assassin, just being able to eradicate anybody for like big money. And then you see the more psychological scars of that, like what sticks with them, some of them are just totally fed up, some of them are just so engrossed in it that they don't recognize anything else, and some go straight to the point so bad that they just die before Travis even gets to fight them, like almost hollow of personality in a way. They let it shake it out of them that much, sort of thing. And with Travis having that ambition to be more than what he is initially is what I find really intriguing about him. It's what I really like about him. Sure, like in any other video game, your character can, especially in action, hack and slash, your character will grow and improve. But it's how he obtains these abilities. It's either from just a memory prompt, just a prompt from the different masks that he finds lying around, and just before a boss battle, just read the note. Oh yeah, is this wrestling move? Or just ones that he just finds and watches on video when he gets home. And it's interesting. For me as a teenager, I was a bit like, oh wow, cool. So that's his way of like upgrading himself and improving himself. And I found that kind of neat. I found that kind of cool. And that was way before I believed that I could just go on YouTube and use that as a means to research or learn something new. Like just find some sort of like skill and be at least introduced to how their skill works. To some degree, YouTube is not absolutely perfect. You gotta like still understand it's that person's interpretation of the skill or understanding of the skill or trade or whatever. Like, still do your research. Don't just glue yourself to one video, guys. Do your best to still branch out and question the answers you initially get and see if that same answer like corresponds with another source of info. Like, do that as often as you can. Not so much that you just don't do anything, but it's just good to double check. And with how of how Travis grew, like with his beam katana style as well. It just seemed to be this freestyle thing he just comes up with as it goes. But when he gets his last beam katana, it feels the most refined. While Bloodberry, especially high stance, is just this wah 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 wah. This, it's almost like he's drawing a V, just swing up down up down up down, and it's Travis's progression. There's so much I could say about this. I'm really doing this off solely off the top of my head. I want it to be like as authentic as it can be, really. How Travis is really, he's going gun-ho into a situation he hasn't really thought through. So how he's headstrong initially is what gets you into the big mess that is the UAA. Just all the shenanigans around that. Like, it's what gets you gun-ho into it, and you're like, oh wow, this is quite exciting. But by the end of it, you realise that, oh, he's kind of got himself in a bit of trouble here. And we'll learn from No More Heroes 2 that it's from the bottom and back up to the top again. And he's revered and admired and infamous for being able to walk away and still come back alive. And that's interesting. I found that real interesting. And despite this being a man that literally lives in a motel, doesn't really have all that many friends, doesn't have all that many social ties, all that many things to do in his like daily routine. Like, all you do is just watch anime, beat his meat, get some more action figures online, just order off online auctions or whatever, and then that's really it. Like, oh yeah, that's literally it. Like, yeah, it's off some sort of eBay like site. That Bloodberry, by the way. Like, I don't know if I actually unconsciously said, oh yeah, you bought off eBay. But yeah, it's, as a kid, as like a very young teen, I was just like, whoa. Like, for some reason in my head, I thought that just seeing all this merch in his room, this telly, a chair just directed right at the telly, his bedroom is like steps away, his bathroom steps away. I've said this several times in the series, in the Journey to No More Heroes 3. I genuinely thought, I'm like, yo, that's the life, that's amazing. If you're single and like a bit, like, and like more often than not you're by yourself, then yeah, like, it's a setup, it's something you can have and feel comfortable in. But nah, like, no, like, especially now, like, I finished up with uni, I got my girlfriend now, I want to be a writer, like a freelance writer, to the best of my ability. I can't have that kind of lifestyle in the slightest. Not because solely of my circumstances, but my quality of goals have definitely changed. They're not as immature anymore. They're not as basic or as simple anymore. Like, I'm hoping that like loads of people that have gone through the series as well, that I know anyone that initially admired Travis can actually see him just like, no, he's not. He's not a very bad guy, but like, if the chance came round to it and he came over and hung out with me, sure. But I wouldn't want to go around his house as often. Like, it'd be more like a 5-to-1 ratio thing. He'll come over mine 5 times, and for every 5 of those trips, I'll head over to his once or twice. Never to sleep over. He ain't sleeping here, man. Like, sure, he's got some sweet ass hair. He's a bit of a grungy dude. Like, if we go fresh off No More Heroes 1 and how his setup was there, and like, it's gonna be interesting to see how his setup is in No More Heroes 3. Like, is he still living in the trailer or not? When Travis strikes again, No More Heroes. Like, we'll have to see. But like, Travis has been. He's been a very intriguing character for me. Like, how he's evolved, how the story has handled him. No More Heroes 2, that really shook me up. Like, how he was handled there. I was a bit like, wait, what? Like, is this the same guy? Like, all of a sudden he's praised to the heavens and back, while initially he was just this guy that in the shadows of Santa Destroy, in the underbelly of Santa Destroy, he was doing all these crazy, on paper, amazing things, but it was like brutal, it is dark. You're like, what the hell is he thinking? Like, it's a real exciting tale. Like, try and imagine something, like, complete out of context. Try and imagine him telling somebody else what he got up to in the first No More Heroes game, if he sat down and like tried to summarize it in a single afternoon meal, like he just went off on a road trip, and he just decided to just like, he bumped into somebody and they asked questions, he's like, oh, okay, and I'm this guy, and then it'd be so far-fetched for one thing, obviously because it's a video game, but it would be, you'll see him, you'll see that, I'd recognise that okay, he's got some ambition, he's started heading out somewhere. But I'd be like, dude, like, that's where you started from? Like, and then this is where you are now? Like, let's just say it's from No More Heroes 1 to 2. Like, he might still end up having to head back to that motel. Like, actually just being stuck there. I'm certain, and I'm very sure that in the, what was it, the first No More Heroes 3 trailer, yes, it's his motel. He's back there again. So despite all the mad money he's earned throughout the first 2 games, he's headed straight back there. Like, he either wants a very simple life, or I'm not too sure. But like, he wants to be a hero in his own terms, man. Like, but I don't think he wants all the glitz and glamour that Death Metal's got, or the riches that Dr. Peace has, the tragedy that Shinobu's got, or hell, even the even the costumes that Destroy Man has, and yeah, just it's almost like just all the almost closed off potential that Holly Summers has, and just the tragedy that she has as well. Like, at least hinted within the small amount of dialogue we get with her. Let's Shake, if he has anything, is very vague. He's very vague. I don't know, the potential inventive smarts that he has, and then the glitz and glamour and just the on-stage, always in the spotlight presence of Harvey. Like, he doesn't want any of that now, man. He really doesn't. He wants to be a hero by his own standards. From where he stayed in No More Heroes 2. And I don't know, it's not a bad thing being a loser, man. If you're persistent and still aiming for the up and up, there's nothing wrong with being a loser. Like, your quality of problems at some point or another does change. This isn't even just an example just to Travis. Like, yo, like, way back when, I barely had any friends to speak of. Like, someone that would like literally stick by me like through and through, no matter what. I don't remember really having a lot of people that were just like that, like back in school. Like, it was college when, it was the transition from school to college, that's when I really started getting some more friends, really. And just really being more than what I was before. I had to work for that. That was positive psychology books, meditation, like I've said this before. And a loser can have ambitions. And they can gain some things, fall back a bit, and then maybe gain a little bit more. But no, I think it's good to be a loser in a way. I honestly think it's good to be a loser. You can have a few wins, but you're going to have more losses than wins anyway. So no, I think that, I guess in a way, the greatest losers are the ones that make it to the top. Because they have to lose more than anybody else, but have to persist and keep going. In a way. So like, I don't know, I think it's one of those, I think it's one of those things that'll be really useful, this statement and discussion. I think it's really useful for like, when you're really down in your dumps. Having the mentality of just like, hey, it's okay to be a loser, it's not the worst thing in the world. Choosing to miss out on what you desire and what you could want. Now that's when it gets kind of tragic. That's when you really, really give up on yourself. Like, I want to know the pre No More Heroes Travis. I want to know that guy. I want to know that guy, like, what, a month solid, like the full month before he bought that Bloodberry, he bought that Beam Katana on an online auction. I want to see that guy. I want to see that little arc. I want to see how not even tragic, almost like I want to see how depressing that is. I want to see, like, what's that little spark that just, like, okay, I'm at the bottom. I'm open to change from here. I'm going to head up because I've just hooked onto this one harebrained idea. I've been coaxed over to do so. So I'm like, you know what, screw it. I'm going to go try this. And maybe I'll get my revenge. And then maybe from there, I could be some sort of a superstar. And get the hell out of this motel or whatever. That kind of thing. Third raider, first raider, baby. Like any means necessary kind of thing. I want to see that. I want to see that. Oop. I want to see that kind of arc. Like, I don't know. I might even write it. I have to really sit and think about what Travis, like, pre-Travis touchdown before No More Heroes would even be. Well, that'd be quite interesting. But I want to know what you guys think as well when it comes to Travis touchdown. Like, do you still admire him through and through? Like, is he your hero in some regard? Or is he your loser in some regard? Like, how is he sort of helping you out with, like, I don't know, some sort of difficult time? Just that sort of symbolism, that sort of imagery, and that sort of deeper meaning and metaphors. Like, this is important. Like, this game has a very special place in my heart. Like, it seriously does. Actually, the whole series does. Like, dude, if I end up crying off camera, like off mic, I should say, just off recording, like after Travis strikes again, I will not be surprised. Because it's actually gonna it's been feeling a bit intense for me just going for the games. I know it sounds stupid, but in the regard of just really revisiting like such an interesting character, such a unique character. Like I do find Travis touchdown like really cool, really badass, really exciting, really interesting, and yeah, and with Suda 51's magic and help, he got me understanding games more. He got me more intrigued of how you can interact with a video game. It's not just a control pad. It can be a Wii remote and a nunchuck, and it can be that again. Then it can be 2 Joy-Cons or some sort of third-party, Nintendo Switch Pro controller. Like, or any other mad controllers that are really out there. Like, there's so many different ways to interact and play with a video game. And ones that have you more involved action-wise. And ones that just bore the hell out of you. Because, man, mowing the lawn in No More Heroes 1, painful. Painfully boring. But now I'm older, I've got mad appreciation for it now. It's a refined art. And it gets your brain nice and soothed. I'm looking for Lollikov balls too. Like, before that was like a literal test of patience, but now I'm just like, you know, I can sit back, chill out, relax, and just savor the city that Travis Touchdown is a part of. Good old Santa Destroy. Right. I hope you enjoyed my rambling. Like, comment, and subscribe for any more, and also you'll get to be notified as long as you hit that little bell icon. You'll get to know when the next leg, the next little step in our journey to No More Heroes 3 will be. Next time around, I'd like to talk about what I'd like to see in detail for No More Heroes 3. If it's not this upcoming No More Side Jobs, it'll be one in the near future. But until then, this has been The Passion, also known as Mikal. Take care. Bye-bye.